Scorpio. I like this. Bottom of the deck, you get the Chariot. The main energy for your reading is the Page of Cups. Your heart's opening up, which seems like a very, very positive shift from your readings for December, for November. So I like seeing this progress. I like seeing emotions. In the recent past, you get the Four of Swords, the Nine of Swords, and the King of Cups. This is you. I don't assign gender to my cards. And it's interesting because Cancer got the King of Cups in the exact same position. And at the bottom of the deck, you get the Chariot, with this, which is Cancer. So I don't know if you're dealing with a Cancer or if you have a lot of Cancer in your chart. I do like the recent past here. There's a lot of healing. I don't know what pain, what stress, what anxiety you were going through. And this is you, specifically you. It seems like you were healing from it and you healed from it in the recent past. So I really, really love seeing that. In the current situation, you get the Ace of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, and the Hermit. So there is a brand new beginning here. You're like leveling up this month. Here in the 3D world, not just energetically, there's like a physical leveling up here for you, whether that's in a connection, your job, friendship. I don't know what this is. It's leveling up. You're still holding back though. So it's almost like the universe is like, Scorpio, let's go. And you're like, yeah, I'm going. But you're still kind of holding on to like a support, not like a support person, but you're kind of like holding on to the past. And I don't know why. You're showing me like I have a reason why. Deep down, I have a reason why. So we'll clarify this and see. In the near future, you get the Council of Monarchs. That's the Emperor in this deck, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups. You're moving slowly. The reason you're moving slowly is because you want to make sure that you are in control, that you have everything that you need, that it's essentially like you're not going to get blindsided, you're not going to get surprised. And also you want to feel like things happen at the rate that you're comfortable with them happening, how you want them to happen. So you are kind of dragging your feet a little bit here on something, mainly because whatever this thing is, there's a lot of emotional overwhelm tied up to it. So I can see the need for control here. Let's see. I don't know if this is a relationship reading or if this is just a your energy reading. Let's clarify. We'll start off with the Page of Cups, which is, excuse me, the main energy for your reading this month. Okay, I usually take 3, 4 came out, so I'll take 4. The Page of Cups is clarified by the Queen of Cups, the Knight of Swords, the Four of Swords, which you get in the recent past, and the Star. There is love here. You definitely love someone, and I feel like this love has evolved quite quickly because you go from the Page to the Queen. The love goes both ways too. So like obviously you care about them, they care about you. And I see this love evolving very, very quickly. And it also helped you heal a lot, which is what you've wanted. It's what you've desired. The only thing, the reason I'm like a little hesitant here is because it feels like even though it's moving very quickly, it progressed very quickly, it's happening very quickly, and it is what you wanted. It's something that you've manifested, you've asked the universe for. It might be a little bit too quick for you. I don't know why. We'll clarify and see, but I get that feeling where you're like, this is what I wanted. This is healing. This is amazing. I don't have a doubt that this person cares about me just as much as I care about them. It's just too quick. It's too quick, which, you know, coming from you, a water sign, that's saying a lot. Let's clarify the recent past. We'll start off with the Four of Swords. Four of Swords is clarified by the Ten of Cups, Page of Cups, Ten of Swords. It's interesting because here you get the Page of Cups clarified by the Four of Swords. And in the recent past, you get the Four of Swords clarified by the Ten of Cups. When I see repeating cards, it's essentially like, hey, these all tie in together. There's a lot of healing for you here in the recent past. And like I said, it makes you happy. This connection makes you happy. Your heart's opening up here following a very, very difficult period. I can see that you were feeling quite defeated, quite like down in the dumps for a while here. Like I said, November, December, those didn't feel like very easy months for you in some regard. And so I do see you coming up and being like, okay, I can finally breathe after those like periods of feeling like, oh, this is never going to work. It's never going to work out. This sucks. This is difficult. So I do definitely see a lot of happiness and a lot of emotions coming to the surface in the recent past here. Let's take a look at the Nine of Swords in the recent past. Nine of Swords is clarified by the Hermit, which you get again in the current situation, the Three of Cups, and the Eight of Pentacles. There's something you're stressing out about. You're showing me I have a reason to stress out. I'm going to clarify this when we get to it. But this stress is not from this connection. This anxiety, this overthinking is not from this connection. This connection makes you happy. You're showing me like the more time we spend together, the more it just works. It clicks. Like every time we spend together, we're building more of a foundation. We're creating more of a connection. Like this connection is good. But you're showing me I have a reason to stress. And I'm like, okay, well, what is it? You're like, you'll see. You'll see when we get to the Hermit in the current situation. So whatever stress you had in the recent past, it's not from this connection, at least not on the surface. This connection seems solid and very, very positive as far as you're concerned. Let's take a look at the King of Cups in the recent past. King of Cups is clarified by the Five of Pentacles, the Temperance, and the Ace of Pentacles. You get the Ace of Pentacles again in the current situation. So whatever happened in the recent past is tying into the current situation. You do have a little bit of fear of loss. You don't want to lose this connection because you're showing me like it's a level up. It's a level up from past connections. It's a level up from what I've been experiencing, all the down in the dumps energy. It's leveling up. I feel like things are finally shifting and I really don't want to lose this. And I do feel like the fear of loss is not intense here. It's not like you're going through it every day, every minute, like, oh my God, I hope I don't lose this connection. It's there in like the back of your mind. But because you've been with this person long enough to kind of like ease that out where you don't really fear of losing them, you're not like 100% terrified of it. I do feel like it's kind of like eased out. And you're showing me I've transitioned from, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose this person to I feel comfortable, I feel safe, and we can progress and keep building and like leveling this up. This is you. So I do feel like this is not necessarily a new connection. This person has been in your life for quite some time. Let's see. Let's get to the current situation because a lot of the recent past is kind of like building up to the current situation. So let's see the Ace of Pentacles in the current situation. Ace of Pentacles is clarified by the Queen of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Nine of Wands. Like I said, you are leveling up in the current situation, but there's still resistance. And this resistance is coming from you. You're showing me like we're taking it to the next step. We're leveling up, but I need it to like make sense. I don't want to just level up from an emotional perspective. I don't want to make any impulsive decisions from an emotional perspective. It needs to make sense for me. So whatever resistance you feel like you may be experiencing in the current situation, it's coming internally from you. It's almost like, for example, we've been together for a year. We're going to move in together. This is us leveling up. But does it make sense for me to move in with this person? Or do I just want it because, you know, it sounds fun and exciting and cool? So that's just an example. But something here needs to make sense to you. And you're trying to look at it logically to make sure that it makes sense. And this is not just one of those impulsive decisions. Let's look at the Four of Pentacles in the current situation. Four of Pentacles is clarified by the Page of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Nine of Swords. You get the Nine of Swords in the recent past in the same row. The reason you're stressed out, right? And the reason you're stressed out in the recent past, you're afraid that this is going to affect your independence. The thing about you are very, very independent. You don't need anybody else. Like I could put you in a room by yourself, like on a desert island, you'll figure it out. You don't need anybody else. And you kind of, you enjoy being in a connection, but you also really, really, really enjoy that independence, not having to answer to anyone, not having to account for anything, doing what you want, when you want, where you want, like, you know, and you're showing me the idea of like obviously not having as much of an independence, like being in a connection, that's appealing to me. This connection is solid, but there is an aspect of it deep down which stresses you out about whether or not like taking that next step, leveling up with this person is going to affect your ability to be independent, to be on your own, to take care of yourself, to not have to account for anybody, to kind of be the king of your castle or queen of your castle without having to like deal with somebody else. And again, like I said, it's not this connection. This connection feels solid. This person makes you feel good. This connection feels good. There's love, there's emotion. But you don't want to give up on your independence. You don't want like somebody to make you feel suffocated. Let's take a look at the Hermit in the current situation. Hermit's clarified by the Five of Swords, Seven of Cups, and the Lovers. Now, you know that this fear is a little bit of maybe you trying to self-sabotage or maybe possibly self-sabotaging because you're showing me like deep down, I know that this connection is very deep. I know that I love this person. I know that they love me. I don't think it's going to affect me as much as I'm stressing out about it. Like, I don't think my independence is going to be as affected as I fear it will. But I do still have that internal feeling of like, well, maybe it will. Maybe it's going to suck. Maybe I'm making the wrong decision. And that's a little bit overwhelming for you in the current situation because you're not 100% sure. Again, it's not, this person is great, this connection is great, but you kind of thrive on not having, like, no, you don't want people telling you what to do, right? And inevitably in a connection, especially if you level it up, that's going to come with the territory. And you're like, I like it, but I don't know if I want it, you know? It's a little overwhelming for you. I can see that. You're afraid of being suffocated. Let's take a look at the near future, see what the Emperor is all about. Emperor is clarified by the Devil, High Priestess, and the Ace of Swords. You recognize that your fears are deep-seated. They're not necessarily tied to reality, right? Like, again, the likelihood of this person actually suffocating you, you're showing me it's not likely. Like, I don't think I'm going to feel that way. But the fears always look so much bigger and more intense than they are. And you're recognizing that, but that still doesn't matter because you're showing me I still like not pumping the brakes, but I am behaving in a little bit of a difficult way here in the near future of trying to exert control. So again, I'm going to use the moving in example. Let's say you're supposed to move in together and they want to bring their furniture. You're like, no, it has to be my furniture. I don't want your furniture. It doesn't match like the decor of my house or whatever. And you're like, you know that you're being a little bit petty, a little bit difficult unnecessarily, but this is kind of what you need for yourself to feel like, okay, I'm still in control here. I can still dictate how things go. Like, I'm not going to get suffocated. My fears are not going to take over. Let's look at the Knight of Pentacles in the near future here. Knight of Pentacles is clarified by the Page of Swords, the Hierophant, and the Tower. You're psyching yourself out a little bit. Remember how I said here you're exerting control? The way you're exerting control is you're pumping the brakes. You're slowing this whole thing down. You're not stopping it completely, but you're slowing it down because you do have your doubts. You're showing me this connection feels great, but what if it all comes crumbling down? What if this is literally going to completely shatter me? What if it's going to suffocate me? What if like you're literally looking at this in a bit of like a doom and gloom perspective of like, it's there's this huge fear of it not working out and it, ending badly and me feeling suffocated. And this little bit of like, oh, it might actually work out great. It's still a possibility it'll work out great, but the fear is bigger, it's louder, it takes up more space in your head. And I do see you kind of listening to that fear and slowing things down, pumping the brakes because you're like, wait, I have to think about this again. Let's take a look at the Seven of Cups, which you get in the near future. You got it again in the current situation as well, in the same row. The Seven of Cups is clarified by the King of Cups, Knight of Cups, Ace of Cups. You are very, very overwhelmed. And what I see you doing a little bit as a result of this overwhelm is pulling back the emotions a bit. You go from the King to the Knight, which is essentially like, I still love you. I'm still giving you my love. You're just not getting as much of it, right? Because you are emotionally overwhelmed. Your feelings are kind of all over the place, and you're like, I can't dump all my emotion onto you because I have to figure out my own feelings. This is a new beginning for you. You get the Ace of Swords, Ace of Cups, Ace of Pentacles twice, right? So there is a lot of new beginning energy here. And it's not that you're averse to new beginnings. You do, like, you're okay with change, but something about this change may kind of be threatening, or at least you fear that it'll threaten part of your identity, part of, you know, your core, you Scorpio, like being independent, being your own person. And so you are kind of pumping the brakes a bit to just slow it down to make sure, like, okay, I'm making the right decision. I'm not just making a huge mistake here. Let's take a look at what the universe wants you to keep in mind this month, Scorpio. From the universe, you get the Page of Swords, the Three of Wands, Five of Cups. Yeah. You're doubting this. You're kind of, like I said, taking more time to really think things through because you don't want history to repeat itself. At some point in the past, whether it's in relationships, childhood, whatever it is, somebody suffocated you. Somebody took away this sense of independence that you have. And you're like, I never want that to happen again. Like, I'm never putting myself in a position to feel like who I am, me, myself, and I, is somehow going to be at jeopardy. And so you're taking a little bit more time to think this through. So Scorpio, that's what I have for you. I hope this reading helped. If it did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you here on the next one.